Well, hey everyone, it's time for Strat-O-Matic Baseball. Spokane Steve here. This is the first game of April 22nd, I believe. It's going to be the New York Mets at the Atlanta Braves. The Braves, we just saw the Braves the other day. And now we're going to see them again. Two right-handers today. Jack Hamilton for the Mets. 6-13, but with a 3.93 earned run average. He was hard to hit, but I'll show you the card in a second. Cloninger for the Braves, 14-11, 4.12. Cloninger comes into the game with a 1-2 mark. Hamilton's 0-2. Hamilton, as you can see, not many hits on the card, but a lot of walks. Less hits than I would think for 138 hits in 149 innings, but he walked 88. So I think what they did is they put all the walks on here, and that would create more hits off the batter's card, and that's how they even it out. Just a guess. Cloninger is really tough on righties. A little susceptible to lefties. You can see here he's got a serious home run problem in the sixes column versus left-handers. So we'll go over the starting lineups here in just a second. I'm feeling better today than yesterday, for sure. Okay, for the Mets, Ron Hunt will lead off and play second base. Roy McMillan will bat second at shortstop. Ken Boyer is the third baseman. He bats third. Ed Kranepool's back in the cleanup spot at first base. Cleon Jones is back in the lineup. He's playing center field today and batting fifth. Johnny Lewis in right field hits sixth. Al Luplow plays left field and hits seventh. John Stevenson will do the catching and hit eighth, with Hamilton hitting ninth. And here's their lineup. The Braves will have Felipe Alou in center field leading off. Eddie Matthews back in the lineup today at third base hitting second. Hank Aaron, of course, bats third in right field. Lee Thomas moves up to the cleanup spot, the first baseman. Joe Torre will do the catching and bat fifth. Rico Cardi's in left field, dropping down to the sixth spot. Dennis Menke's back at shortstop with his 4.38 hitting seventh. Woody Woodward's in the lineup, though, but he'll play second base today and hit eighth. And Cloninger, a damn good hitting pitcher, will bat ninth. And welcome, Mike, and thank you. I appreciate that. They gave me the good drugs this time. They were giving me the B grade shit before, I think, and they upped it up. They give me the good stuff plus a nebulizer, which I think has helped a lot. So yeah, we're coming along. Far from out of the woods, but definitely a vast improvement over yesterday. Okay, we got a ball game. We're ready to go. The Mets, the only winless team, 0-5. The Braves at 4-4. Braves lost that tough game against the Phillies the other day. And welcome, Kelly. Thank you very much. Hopefully we'll make it a good one. Okay, Cloninger's ready to work. Ron Hunt steps in, right-handed batter. Cloninger gets the sign from Torrey, the windup. And here's the first batter of the game. Is going to be a 2-9 against the right-hander. Grounder to second base. That's Woodward. He picks it up, flips it over to Thomas, and there's one down, and we are underway. Roy McMillan moved up to the 2 spot. Mr. Shortstop, as he was called in the early 60s, late 50s possibly. There's Cloninger's pitch to Mr. Shortstop, and he grounds it to second base X. That's going to be Woodward, a 3E24. Woodward to his left. Here's the play. On a 12, that's going to go to the error range. And what did I say he was? A 24 with a roll of a 3. That does not bode well. He boots it. That's going to be a one-base error on Woodward. So error Braves. That puts McMillan aboard with one down, and here's a Ken Boyer. The Mets would really love to get into the win column. And I'd love to see them do it, to be honest with you. I normally don't establish any rooting interest at the start of the game. I kind of open the game impartial. You probably noticed if a starting pitcher is going deep into the game and having a fine performance, I'll generally start pulling for that pitcher. Or maybe a certain player, like when Jerry Lumpy had that crazy good game. I started pulling for Detroit and for Lumpy. But I normally don't go into the game with a favorite, but I have to admit I'd love to see the Mets get off the schneid here and get a win in their books. On the other hand, Atlanta had a really good team. They probably should be 5-3, honestly. And there's Aaron. And yes, you're right, Aaron. Absolutely. You caught me on that one. I didn't bother with a Coleman nameless card or anything else with Coleman. Stevenson's catching today. A little poetic license there. Mostly I do follow it pretty exactly, but I looked at that and went, nah, I'm not even going to bother. We'll just stick Stevenson back there. From the stretch, here's Cloninger's pitch to Boyer. That's going to be a 3-6, a liner to short, speared by Menke. 2 down. And here's Cranepool. Left-handed hitter. Here's the pitch from Cloninger. It's a 4-10, catcher's card X. That's going to be Torrey. Torrey's a 2E7. And here is the play. On an 8, it's a pop out to the catcher. Torrey makes the play. And that does it for the Mets. No runs, no hits. They left a man on. There was an error. And we go to the bottom of the first, scoreless. Now here's Jack Hamilton warming up. As Felipe Alou steps in for the Braves. Is this the one that couldn't walk? No, this was the good Alou. He batted .327. 31 homers. .533 slugging. Boy, that's a hell of a leadoff man, you know it? Here's the pitch from Hamilton, a 2-7, tapper down to short. That's McMillan. Picks it up and throws him out. And here's Eddie Matthews now, 1 down. Pitch from Hamilton is a 3-3. It's a foul out. Stevenson back. He's got it. Foul out to the catcher. 2 away quickly. And here's Henry Aaron. Aaron, 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. Places him among the league leaders in both categories. Here's the pitch on a 6-4. Grounder to third base X. That's going to be Boyer, a 2E26. And here is the play. Boyer to the line on a 6. Error range. What did I say he was again? A 26, and the roll is a 6. He can't get it. It's an error, Ken Boyer. So E5, that puts Aaron aboard. Aaron's an asterisk 19. He'll have to be held on. Hamilton, a poor hold at a +3. Stevenson, a poor hold. So Aaron would be a 20. Held on, he'd be an 18. And he's going to try for the lead. He needs a 7. An 8. He does not establish a good lead. And Lee Thomas will hit away with 2 down. And here's the pitch from the stretch to Lee. A 5-3 flighter right field X. That's Lewis. Johnny Lewis, a 3E4 in right. Here's the play on an 11. That'll be the error range. That's an E4. The roll is a 9, and he makes a fine running catch to retire the side. So same situation. No runs, no hits, a man left. There was an error. Much like the top of the inning. 1 error per side. And we go scoreless to the second inning. Here's Cloninger now. Cleon Jones. Good to see Cleon back in the lineup. The windup and the pitch. Cloninger deals a 2-11. Pop up to shortstop. Menke's got it. 1 down. Here's Johnny Lewis, left-handed batter. Rifle-armed outfielder. Here's the pitch on a 5-2. Struck him out. First K of the game for Cloninger, for either side, really. And here's Luplow, left-handed hitter. Here's the pitch, a 2-9, tapper down to second. Woodward's got it. Flips over to Thomas, and that will do it. 1, 2, 3, go the Mets. And we are still scoreless. Yeah, and Aaron Luplow, if I remember right, he played for quite a few teams. Usually, your typical fourth outfielder type. He may have had a season where he gathered a lot of at-bats. I don't remember one off the top of my head. It'll be Torrey, Carty, and Menke for the Braves. As we move to the bottom of the second, Hamilton gets the sign from Stevenson. Here it is, a 2-12, and he hits him. Holy crap, Torrey drilled by the pitch. He does not look very happy as he walks slowly down to first base. Kind of the way he runs. 1 through 8. So walking to first on a hit by pitch, he's more like a 1 through 3. And here's Rico Carty. Hamilton from the stretch. Pitch to Rico on a 5-6. Swung on and missed strike 3. Oh, that was a nasty breaking ball. Oh my goodness, Carty was fooled completely. Way out in front of it, and here's Menke. Menke walked off Jeffrey Guterman's game today. And again, for those of you that haven't caught Jeffrey's 1969 replay yet, oh, now it's taken my, I had it in there. Well, I'll get to that later, I guess. I had it saved as a copy and paste, and now it's gone. Damn technology, right? Anyhow, Menke walked it off with a home run in the bottom of the 9th. That was Houston and St. Louis today. 2-1 Houston on the Menke home run. So here's the pitch to Menke. That's a 3-12. That's going to be a foul out to the catcher. Stevenson's got it, and there's 2 away. Here's Woody. Hamilton the pitch. To Woody, a 1-4 pop-up. Right side, that's Hunt. Easy play, and that retires the side. So after 2 innings complete, it's 0-0. In fact, we've yet to have a hit in the ball game, as Cloninger comes out to pitch the third. And here's Stevenson. Cloninger winds and deals on a 5-12, swung on and missed strike 3. Down goes Stevenson, who's only slightly better than Choo-Choo Coleman against righties. In 1966 cards, that is. And here's Hamilton, a right-handed batter. Here's the delivery on a 6-9. Struck him out. And that's 3 now for Cloninger. 2 of them at the bottom of the order, of course. But hey, it's, 3 Ks is 3 Ks. And here's Hunt. Mr. Hit by the pitch himself. It's a 1-11. It's a base hit for Hunt. He takes it the other way into right field. And Hunt is aboard with a 2-out single. An asterisk 15. Cloninger with a +1, 16. He'll have to be held on. That would make him a 1-14. And he'll stay put, and McMillan will hit away. From the stretch now, the pitch to McMillan. That's a 4-6 double to 8, and that's going to be down for a double. Double with 2 asterisks. So Hunt will have to hold up at third on the 2-out double by Mr. Shortstop. The Mets have second and third, but there are 2 away. So it's all up to Ken Boyer. Cloninger taking his time now. He's in a little bit of a jam for the first time as he finally does come set and delivers to the plate. On a 5-5, tapper to short X. That's Menke. Uh-oh. That's a 4E38. Menke to the hole. Here's the play on a 1. That's going to be a single that'll drive in both runs. That was a tough play. Menke couldn't handle it. 2 RBI single for Ken Boyer. Hunt will score. McMillan will score, and it's 2-0 Mets. I'm going to just note that was a shortstop X play there. And here's Cranepool. So the Mets jump out to a 2-0 lead. 6-8 to the lefty, swung on and missed strike 3. So Cloninger does strike out the side, but in between, the Mets pick up 2 runs on 3 hits. They leave 1. And they take a 2-0 lead into the bottom of the third. Luplow, 67, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. 62 is his best season. 14 home runs, 277. That's not too shabby. Okay, here's Hamilton now, trying to protect that lead. Cloninger, of course, a 7N right-handed hitter. He's a good hitting pitcher. Pitch from Hamilton, a 6-11 base hit into left field, and he proves it. Cloninger picks up the first hit of the game for the Braves. And here's Felipe Alou. Hamilton from the stretch now, 4-3 to Alou. That's a fly ball to right field. Very playable for Lewis, who barely has to move and puts that one away, 1 down. And here comes Eddie Matthews. Got some hot chamomile tea today with just a little bit of honey. From the stretch now, Hamilton to Matthews is a 1-3 grounder to first. That's going to be Cranepool. His only play is to Hamilton for the out at first base, and Cloninger will take second on the play. So with 2 away, it's Henry Aaron. And for a moment there, I'm thinking put Aaron on, but it's early. And you don't really put the tying run on for free, do you? I think not. So Hamilton's going to pitch to Aaron, and here's the pitch. On a 4-5 to fly to left, fairly deep, but it's playable for Luplow, and he's there to make the catch, and that'll do it. No runs, a hit, 1 left, and it's 2-0 Mets after 3. So Hamilton pitching a fine game to this point. Cloninger, not a bad job either. Got into a little trouble there last inning with the 3 consecutive hits. On the other hand, the 2-run single he gave up was off the defense. So there's that. And absolutely, Aaron, Cloninger famous for the hitting 2 grand slams in the same game. And here is Jones now. It'll be Jones, Lewis, and Luplow for the Mets. Cloninger, 1, and deals a 3-6. That's going to be a double to 4. He'll settle for a long single. And Cleon's aboard with a leadoff single. An asterisk 15, he'll have to be held on. +1, what did I say Torrey was? So he's a 16. He's a 1 through 14 held. Nobody out. Lewis is going to take a shot first of all. Then we might look at a possible steal. From the stretch. 5-2. Swung on and missed strike 3. It's 1 down. And now Jones is going to try for that lead. He's 1-14. If he can get a 2 through a 7. He's got a 4. 1-14. Jones is going. And he's gunned down by Torrey. Torrey fires a rocket down there and throws out Cleon Jones at second. Woodward applying the tag. Well, they gambled. And here's Luplow with 2 down and nobody on. The windup and the pitch on a 5-6. Swung on and missed strike 3. And that's 6 strikeouts for Cloninger now. So no runs a hit, no one left. And it's still 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 4th. As I keep saying, the Mets looking for their first win of the young season. The only winless teams. It would be nice to see that come to an end, quite frankly. We finally saw the first loss, the only lossless team lose a game. That was the Phillies. Hamilton ready to work now. It's going to be Thomas, Torrey, and Carty. Hamilton comes set. Lee Thomas, a left-handed hitter. Here's the windup. And here's the pitch on a 5-7. Second base X ground ball. That's Ron Hunt. Hunt, a 328. He ranges behind the bag. And here's the play. On a 9, that's the error range. So an E28 on a 9. I'm sorry, on an 8. He makes the play. So 4-3-X, a nice play by Hunt. And there's 1 out. Here's Torrey. Torrey steps in. He's glaring at Hamilton. Remember, Hamilton hit him back in the 2nd inning. Hamilton gets his sign. The pitch to Torrey is a 2-7, and he draws the walk. So a 1-out walk to Joe Torrey. And here's Rico. Rico Carty. 326 that year. I remember his 360, I want to say it was 366. 1970, I believe. From the stretch now, here's Hamilton's pitch to Carty. It's a 4-5. Fly to left field. That's playable for Luplow. He's there. 2 down. And it's Menke. Dennis Menke. One of those guys who could play just about anywhere. And here's the pitch on a 2-7. Swung on and missed strike 3. And down goes Menke, and down go the Braves. No runs, no hits. They leave a man. After 4 complete, it's 2-0 New York. And welcome, Mike, and greetings. When I'm with you today, Mike's for the Mets. I'm for the Mets today. I'm for different teams on different days, depending on situation. Just, I don't know. Different situations, I get a wild hair. Try to remain mostly impartial, but as a game progresses, I'll find myself pulling for one team. But yes, the Mets are 0-5, and that's about enough of that, I think. I think almost everyone would like to see them get one in the win column. Okay, it's going to be Stevenson, Hamilton, and Hunt for the Mets as we go to the 5th inning. Cloninger ready to work now. The windup, the pitch to Stevenson is a 4-2. That's a high fly ball into right field. Aaron going back just shy of the track makes the catch. Well, it's not a very good 9, is it? That's better. And here's Hamilton now, right-handed hitter. Cloninger, the windup. Pitch to Hamilton, a 4-9, fly to right field. Aaron barely has to move on that one. And there's 2 away. Here's Hunt, 1 for 2. The pitch from Cloninger, 1-9. Liner, speared by Woodward, and that will do it. So a quick 1-2-3 inning for Cloninger. And it's still 2-0 New York. It's a tight one. Too early to be comfortable, that's for damn sure. Woodward, Cloninger, and Alou due up here for Atlanta. Okay, Woodward. Hamilton's ready to go now. Woodward standing in from the right side. Here's the windup. Pitch to Woody is a 2-6. He's got himself a base hit up the middle. Leadoff single for Woody Woodward. And here's Cloninger, a C bunter. Let's see what they do. I'll let the dice decide in or back. 1, 2, 3, it's in, it's back. Cloninger's going to hit away. He's a 7-in. On a 3-10, he strikes him out. Cloninger singled his first time up, so I figured, heck, let's give him another chance. He's 1 for 2. Not bad at all. Here's Alou with 1 down from the stretch. That's going to be a 4-6, and he loses him. Ball 4. A walk to Alou. Woodward will take second. First and second, Eddie Matthews, Henry Aaron on deck, and Hamilton's in a jam for the first time today. Stevenson out to the mound now, in fact. They're having a little conference. I'm sure it went something like this. Keep the ball down, try to get a grounder. We can get 2 and get out of this, and we won't have to face Aaron with men on base. Or something like that. First and second, 1 away. The pitch to Eddie Matthews on a 1-12. He walks him. Bases loaded for Henry Aaron. And oh, brother, here we go. Aaron digging in now. No place to put him. Infield back. Full windup. Here's the pitch on a 6-10. Fly to left field. And the runners are going to have to hold on a fly ball C. Very shallow. Luplow comes in, makes the catch. Woodward starts towards the plate, thinks better of it, and holds up. And that's a big second out. I mean a big second out. And here's Lee Thomas, 0 for 2. Hamilton, full windup. The pitch to Lee, a 4-8. Oh my God. Single 2-base advance, and we've got ourselves a tie ball game. So Thomas singles. Woodward scores. Alou scores. Matthews into third. 2 ribbies for Thomas, and it's a tie ball game. Not out of the woods yet by any means, because here's Torrey. From the stretch, the pitch to Joe is a 6-3 grounder to the pitcher X. A 3E19, Jack Hamilton is. And here's the play. On a 5, that's the error range. He's a 19. The roll is a 7, and he makes the play to retire the side. So we'll call that 1-3X. 2 runs for the Braves on a pair of hits, a couple of walks, and they leave a couple. After 5 complete, it's a 2-2 tie. Hymn 43, we also used to call that a hymn for Jesse back in the early to mid 70s. McMillan, Boyer, and Cranepool. for the Mets here in the 6th inning. McMillan 1 for 2. He's been on base both times, reached on an error and doubled. Cloninger winds and deals on a 6-6. That's a triple to 5. Sorry, 6-6, a triple to 5, but it's a single on a 13. But McMillan's aboard with a leadoff single. He'll take it. No threat to steal. I'll keep his card visible. 1 through 10, not even a really good base runner to be hitting at the top. 1 through 10. Here's Boyer now. Cloninger from the stretch. Pitch to Boyer, a 6-5 high fly ball to left field, but that's going to be playable for Cardi. Just shy of the track, he makes the catch. Homer 1 to 5. On a 15, it's a fly out to left field. So Boyer gave it a ride. Got under it just a little bit too much. And here's Cranepool now. Cloninger gets his sign from Torrey, and here's the pitch to Ed. 2-3. Base hit into right. That's going to scoot McMillan over to third base. He's rounding. And he'll take third. And the Mets have runners at the corners and 1 away. 6th inning, tie game. The Braves are going to pull the infield in. Cranepool not a threat to run. So infield in, and here's Cleon. Cloninger from the stretch. Everything feels cold today. Warm up these dice. From the stretch on a 5-5, grounder to shortstop X. That's Menke. Here we go again. 4E38. And here's the play. On a 20, he makes the play. Ground ball B with the infield in. In fact, he not only makes the play, they get the lead man off of third base. So the infield in pays off. I'm going to call that 6-2-5. McMillan is forced. Cranepool to second. Jones to first, and that's 2 away, and it's up to Johnny Lewis. So that was a big play there, having the infield in. That saved a run. And here's the pitch to Lewis now on a 1-6. Double to 2, but it's an 11, and that fly ball is going to be caught by Alou, and that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits. You kind of feel like the Mets wasted a good opportunity in that inning. And it's still, no, it's no runs, 2 hits, not 2 runs. Gee, many Christmas. Well, it is almost Christmas, right? Anyway, you know what I meant. Oh, and I'll tell you, there is so much, everyone knows the Aqualung album, but there is so much more to that band than Aqualung. Not to take anything away from it at all, of course. In fact, there's a bunch of links to a bunch of live toll stuff on my site to YouTube. And there's much more out there that I just did not save to favorites for one reason or the other. Haphazard record keeping, we'll call that. Here we go to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Cardi, Menke, and Woodward. Hamilton ready to work. Pitch to Luplow. It's not Luplow. I'm sorry. The pitch to Cardi, a 110. He taps it down to second base where Hunt has it, makes the play, and throws him out. Helps to have the right lineup out there, Steve. But, you get me talking about Jethro Tull, and I'm bound to get distracted. Here's Menke now. Hamilton, the windup, the pitch. It's a 4-7, fly to center. That's going to be playable for Cleon. He's got it. 2 away quickly, and here's Woody Woodward, 1 for 2 today. Singled and scored his last time up. Here's the windup and the pitch. 1-4, he pops it up on the right side. Hunt's right there, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jack Hamilton. And after 6 complete, we're knotted at 2 apiece. How about that for a ball game? Cloninger, 6 Ks so far. Bottom of the order for the Mets. Luplow, Stevenson, pitcher's spot. Hamilton in S6. He's given him 6. Would they pinch hit here in the 7th? Something to think about. I'll take input from the viewing audience on that one. Do you want Hamilton to stay? Or should they pinch hit? We'll see how the inning develops. Here's Luplow. Cloninger winds and deals. On a 5-5, it's a tapper down to short. There's Menke again, a 4E38. Here's the play on a 10. That's the error range. E38. The roll is a 7. Yet he boots it. Nobody's surprised, right? E6. Menke's second error of the game. And here's Stevenson. Let's check Luplow's running. No, he's not going to be stealing. Stevenson will hit away. Cloninger set now, and from the stretch, pitch to Stevenson on a 2-11. That's a grounder to first. Thomas's only play is going to be to flip to Cloninger covering. Luplow will take second, and with 1 out, now the question becomes Hamilton. I'm inclined to try to hit for him here and try to get a run. He's pitched pretty well. He's only surrendered 1. God, he's only given up 3 hits. But he is an S6. I'm kind of thinking to try to get any more out of him is pressing your luck, right, at this point. I think they got to try to pick up and Mike's for that. So it looks like the consensus is, and I agree with it 100%, by the way. Always hard for me to take a starting pitcher out, but yes, I think they have to be happy they got the 6 innings they got out of him. And they're going to go to the bench. So Hamilton's day will end. A fine 6-inning performance. He only allowed 4 hits. No, 3 hits. He only allowed 3 hits. 2 runs. He walked 3 and hit another. That's what he does, though. He walks people. Hard to hit, gives up the walks. We went over that at the start of the game. 3 strikeouts. Pitcher Alou Matthews Aaron coming up. The Mets used Eilers. Let me look at Eilers' card on the computer. Is that something we would want to do? He's a 2R. No, I don't think this is a spot for Eilers. They also used Rybant, McGraw, and Sutherland, and Bierenarth. Well, let me look at those guys on my computer game. Sometimes I can see it better on there. It's not going to be Sutherland. It's definitely going to be Rybant. He pitched in this game in real life. course, so did a lot of guys. The Mets used 5 relievers in this game, in the real game. Rybant's tough on righties. And that's what he'll be seeing mostly. He has to get through Lou, Matthews, and Aaron in the pitcher's spot. Okay, who's going to bat? They'd like a left-handed batter. Larry Elliott's a possibility. Chuck Hiller's a definite possibility. In fact, that's who it's going to be. We're going to go with Chuck Hiller, a left-handed hitter. He's a weak, but he's a 280 hitter. And what they really need is a hit to try to pick up that runner at second base. So Chuck Hiller will be the batter. Cloninger's an S7, so he's in his endurance inning, although he hasn't given up anything yet. The error doesn't count against him. And here's the pitch to Hiller. A 4-7. He walks him. Hiller works out the walk. And here's Hunt. Mr. Hit by Pitch is 1 for 3 today. From the stretch, it's a 112. Grounder to first base B. That's going to be a force play. That'll go 3-6. Luplow to third. Hiller is forced, and it's first and third, 2 down, and it's up to McMillan. Cloninger ready to work now. They pitch to McMillan on a 1-8 comebacker. Cloninger flags it and throws him out. And Cloninger gets out of it. No runs, no hits. They leave a pair. There was a walk and an error. And it's still 2-2. And as mentioned, here comes Dennis Rybant, or is it Reband? I honestly do not know. Let's take a look. Those kind of names, though, they don't always often offer pronunciation. You see, it doesn't say. I would say Rybant, but I don't know. Now, normally I would say this is a hitting situation, too. But I'm inclined to let Cloninger hit, partly because he's a good hitting pitcher. And partly because I think he's earned it. So he's going to stay in on a 6-5 to the right-hander. That's a ground ball down to first. That's going to be Cranepool. He'll take it to the bag himself. Here's Felipe now. 0 for 2 with a walk. Came around to score in the 5th. Here's the delivery of 4-5. High fly ball to left. Back goes Luplow. It's off the wall. That's going to be a double for Felipe Alou. And here come Braves. This is a good hitting ball club. You kind of feel like the Mets had a couple of chances and squandered them. And the old saying, waste not, want not, may very well apply here, as in steps Eddie Matthews. And from the stretch, the pitch to Matthews on a 6-4. It's a fly to center field X. That's Cleon, a 3-8. Cleon drifting to the gap. Here's the play. On a 13, he makes the catch for the out. So a fine running catch by Cleon. 2 down, and it's up to Aaron. And they're going to put Aaron on. No question about that here. Intentional walk to Henry Aaron, and it'll be up to Thomas. Thomas 1 for 3 knocked in a pair. In fact, he's knocked in both of the runs. So you might question the validity of that move, or the sanity of that move, I guess I should say. But you can't let Aaron beat you here. There's no way. If Thomas beats you, you just tip your hat. And here's the pitch to Thomas, a 1-4. Fly to right, deep, but that's playable for Lewis. Back just shy of the track, and it makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, a hit, 2 left on, and it's still 2-2 after 7 innings complete. And Mike says, walk him. Well, we did, Mike, and it worked out. Okay, Cloninger still out there. S7 going into his 8th inning of work, and it will be the heart of the Met order. Boyer, Cranepool, and Cleon Jones. Cloninger into the windup. Here's the pitch to... Whoa! Holy crap, I got dice flying everywhere. Okay, calm down, Steve. Getting too excited. That's a good sign, though. That means I'm feeling better. Here it is on a 110. It's a base hit for Ken Boyer. Leadoff single. 13, no asterisks, with a 12 automatically caught. He's not going to be trying to steal. And here's Cranepool. Braves will get some activity in their bullpen. Phil Necro and Billy Odell, a righty and a lefty, begin throwing. Here's Cranepool now from the stretch. Cloninger's pitch on a 1-7, swung on and missed, strike 3. Down goes Cranepool. And here's Cleon, 1 for 3 today. Cloninger from the stretch, pitch to Cleon, a 6-11, fly ball to left field. That's going to be playable for Rico. Rico Cardi's there to make the catch, and there's 2 away. And it's up to Johnny Lewis, 0 for 3, struck out twice. Cloninger from the stretch. Pitch to Lewis is a 4-6, single to 13, and on a 14, he's robbed on a stab by Thomas. Holy 4-6. Single to 13, it's a 14. Oh my God. No runs ahead, a man left. The Mets just can't seem to get a break. And you bet, Mark, and welcome. Yeah, get out, the Dice Patrol is right. We've got the Dice Patrol, but it's the cat. He'd either try to run away with it or eat it, one of the two. So it's Torrey, Cardi, Menke. So Rybant will come back out to pitch his 2nd inning. And here's Torrey to lead it off in the bottom of the 8th in a 2-2 ball game. Rybant, the sign from Stevenson. Here's the pitch on a 1-7, swung on and missed, strike 3, and down goes Torrey. And here's Rico Cardi. The windup, the pitch to Rico on a 1-7, swung on and missed, strike 3. And Rybant, he looks like a different pitcher than he was in the 7th inning. He's throwing some smoke here in the 8th, and here's Menke, 0 for 3, and here's the pitch. On a 1-8, fly to left, that's going to be playable for Luplow, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Rybant. And we go to the 9th, all locked up in a 2-2 ball game. And I'm much better today. Not out of the woods by any means, but thank you, Mark, for asking. Let me have a little sip of tea here as we absorb this ball game so far. The Mets got 2 runs in the 3rd. Atlanta tied it with 2 runs in the 5th, and that's where we have stayed ever since. Cloninger, he's coming out to pitch the 9th. And it's the bottom of the order for the Mets. Luplow, Stevenson, another guy who can't hit, Stevenson, and the pitcher's spot. I'm looking ahead now, bear with me. I'm looking for another catcher. Hawk Taylor, oh, he's an awful catcher. Grody could catch. That makes a lot of sense to me. So we may have 2 pinch hitters this inning, but Luplow will lead it off. Cloninger, the windup. That's going to be a 3-8 high fly ball to right field, but that's going to be caught on the track by Henry Aaron. 3-8 homer, 1-5. The roll is a 20. And I'm telling you, they can't get a break. And they're going to bat for Stevenson. He's just too bad. In fact, Grody might bat. Let's look at his card. No, he's not going to bat, but he'll definitely catch. Grody will come on to catch. And let's see if we can't find a left-handed hitter. Oh, God, the only one is Elliott, who does have a little pop, though. From the right side, Hickman would be your best bet. I think Elliott's our man. Hickman can bat for the pitcher. So Larry Elliott's going to come on here and hit for Stevenson. Their last left-handed batter. 1 down, nobody on. Cloninger with the windup. Pitch to Elliott on a 3-8 fly to center field. That's going to be playable for Alou. 2 down. And now we'll have a pinch hitter for Rybant. And that's going to be Jim Hickman, who was almost selected to hit for Stevenson. So Grody will go in at catcher. Much better defensive catcher, too. Grody was a fine receiver. 2 down, nobody on, and here's Hickman. Cloninger, the windup, and pitch to Hickman on a 5-3 fly to left field X. That's Carty, a 4E10. Carty drifting towards the line. Here's the play now on a 9. That's the error range. An E10 on a 5. He can't get it. He bobbles it into a 2-base error. And Hickman's in scoring position on the error by Carty. For Atlanta, their 3rd error of the game. Hickman, the tying run, he's a 12. That's good enough. I'm sorry, he's the go-ahead run. He's not the tying run. He's the go-ahead run. 2 down, and here's Hunt. Hunt's going to bat. Here's the pitch from Cloninger. On a 5-10, it's a grounder to shortstop X. It's our old buddy Menke again. He's had quite a few chances today on the X chart. A 4E38. Here's the play on a 5. He can't get it. That's a base hit, but with a 1-base advance, he must have knocked it down and kept it on the infield, saving a run. So he did something right. Hickman has to hold at 3rd on the single by Ron Hunt. And there's runners at the corners and 2 down. And I would say pinch hit for McMillan and bring in Harrelson to play short. But good grief, what do they have? Stewart. Swoboda is probably the best. Brassard's not bad. Swoboda's the best hitter they've got. 222, but with some pop. or Stewart, 242 with some pop. Ay, ay, ay. Stewart actually looks better. Let me consult my computer game here. McMillan about 26. McMillan's actually better than Swoboda. Okay, it's going to be McMillan's just going to hit. There's no significant advantage to any of those other guys at this point. If you needed an all or nothing shot, you might say Dr. Strangeglove. What they need is a base hit to pick up Hickman at third base. McMillan, ready to go. Here's the pitch on a 3-7, single to 4, but that liner is going to find the glove of Matthews. And once again, they can't get a break. No runs to hit, they leave a pair. There was an error. So Grody in to catch. Now they need another pitcher. Woodward, the pitcher, and Alou. The pitcher's Spot and Alou. Rybant worked 2. 1 hit. An intentional walk. He struck out a pair. Alou, man, they need another righty. Baronarth, that's about the best we can do. Baronarth also pitched in this game in real life. So it's Woodward's, the pitcher's Spot, and in the bottom of the 9th, you know they're going to hit for Cloninger. He's already pitched 9 innings. And then Felipe Alou. If anybody gets on, Eddie Matthews. That's a 3-10 to Woodward. Struck him out. And now we'll have a hitter for Cloninger. So Cloninger, a fine game. He went 9. Six, 7. Gave up 8 hits, 2 runs. Only walked 1. 6, 7 strikeouts. And here's their bench. Their bench is even more stripped down. Although they used Keogh in real life, and I do have a Keogh card here, and that's what we're going to do. Marty Keogh is going to come on. A computer-only card, printed up from the Windows game. You regulars are used to this by now. He's a weak. No power, but he's got pretty good on base, and he's a left-handed batter. So this is a good call for Keogh. Here's the pitch from Biernath on a 1-6. He struck him out. So Biernath struck out 2. And it's Felipe Alou with 2 down in the bottom of the 9th. Or we're going to extras. The windup. Pitch to Felipe, a 4-9. That's a base hit. 2-out single for Alou. And here's Matthews. McGraw and Sutherland also pitched in this game. Hepler, a lefty. There's not much left out there in the Met bullpen, I got to tell you. Bierenarth's going to pitch. Matthews, Aaron on deck. From the stretch. Pitch to Matthews on a 2-5. That's a base hit just out of the reach of the glove of Hunt. An asterisk single, Alou has to hold up. There you go, that should be there. 2 on, 2 out, and look who's coming up. Henry Aaron. Well, you can't walk the bases loaded, can you? It's Bierenarth versus Aaron. The game's on the line from the stretch. The pitch to Aaron, a 5-6 fly to right. That's going to be playable for Lewis. He's there. And we're going to extra innings. Oh, my God, that was intense. No runs, 2 hits, a pair left on. And it's extra innings here in Atlanta. And the Braves need a pitcher. That's going to be Niekro. Phil Niekro. Strictly in relief in 1966. He only worked 50 innings. And this was apparently before he became a workhorse starter. And with the Mets down to Bierenarth and a bunch of relievers that you would rather not bring into the game, and Atlanta with a deep bullpen, that certainly favors Atlanta at this point, at least statistically. But you never know how the dice are going to roll in Strat-O-Matic. Or as the man said, that's why we play the games. So it's Boyer, Crane, Poole, and Jones, the heart of the order for the Mets. In the 10th inning, all locked up at 2. Phil Niekro is ready to work now as he gets the sign from Joe Torre. And I got a dice down again. Well, where the hell did it go? Sure, just to add to the suspense. Why not? My apologies, folks. Bear with me. I see it. I see it. Okay. Well, I'm glad that wasn't on video. Oh my God. Nothing quite as foolish as a sick old man crawling around under a desk to retrieve a die. And here's the next pitch to Boyer. He fouled the first one off. On a 5-7, that ground ball is going to find its way right up the middle for a leadoff single for Ken Boyer as I try to catch my breath. Holy shit. Okay, Boyer aboard. Here's Crane Poole now. Kranepool 1 for 4. Necro from the stretch. Here comes the knuckleball on a 3-6. Grounder to first B. That's a force play. That's going to go 3-6. Forces Boyer. Kranepool on first. I would say run for Kranepool. This bench is awfully thin now. You could bring in Billy Murphy to run for him. That would cause them to have to put Dick Stewart at first base, however. A 5E28. I don't like the sound of that. Here's Cleon, 1 down. From the stretch, that's a 2-7. Single, 2-base advance. Boyer chugs into third. And what a big hit that is for Cleon. First and third, 1 down. Now on third base in less than 2 outs, Kranepool's speed not quite as crucial. As Johnny Lewis comes to bat. Lewis 0 for 4 with 2 Ks, but of course that was all against Cloninger. The Braves will pull the infield in. Jones can run. He's an asterisk 15. Necro a +2. So he'd be a 17. He'd have a free license to steal. I'm going to let the dice decide. 1 through 3, it's in. 4 through 6, he's held on. Okay, he's held on and the infield is back. So that would mean he's a 15, 17. He's still a 1 through 15 to get the lead, and that would keep him out of the double play. On the other hand, with him held, that opens up the right side for Lewis. They're going to swing away. The infield's back. Here's the pitch from Necro, a 3-8. That's a grounder to shortstop B. That's going to score a run, however, with the infield back. That goes 6-4, and that's all they get. So it was Menke to Woodward to first, not in time. Boyer comes in to score. No, he was forced. Scratch that. I beg your pardon. I'm doing it again. Boyer was forced. Kranepool comes in to score. We were just talking about Kranepool, for God's sakes. Jones is forced. Lewis to first. Lewis could try to steal, but he's got about as much chance of being picked off as he does of getting the lead. So we're going to let Luplow swing away here. And here's the pitch from Necro on a 6-9 to the lefty. That's down the right field line for extra bases. It's rattling around. Here comes Lewis. He's rounding. He's coming to the plate. He's going to score, and Luplow is in with a triple. Holy crap, 6-9. Homer to 13. No, wait. Lefty. 6-9, triple to 12. It's a 10. And it is a triple for Luplow, an RBI triple, and it's 4-2 New York. And welcome, Bob. Holy crap. Now here's Grody. I didn't write in his defense. 2E8 -1. Grody with 2 down. Runner at third. Grody trying to pick him up. Pitch from Necro. A 3-10. Extra bases for Grody. That's down the line for a double. Luplow can walk home. And it's an RBI double for Jerry Grody. I always liked Jerry Grody. And now Bernarth can hit. He's the last pitcher who's any good out there. He's a 1. Here's Nico's pitch to Bernarth. 6-9. to the righty. He's a weak. It's a homer to 13, but that's going to be a 2* single for Baronarth. Grody to third. And Necro's just had his ass handed to him here in the 10th. He surrendered 5 hits. I'd take him out, but there doesn't seem much point in it now. He's not fatigued. Here's his pitch to Hunt. 5-6, pop-up. Menke's got it. And that will do it. But the Mets come up with 3 big ones in the 10th. And that was a hit. On 5 hits, and they leave a man. And they are on the verge of finally being the last team to get into the win column. Baronarth would stand to be the winner if he can close it out in the 10th. Thomas, Torrey, and Cardi do. So the Mets rough up Phil Niekro in the top of the inning. Now here's Baronarth. He gets his sign from Grody. Here's Lee Thomas. It's a 4-11 to the lefty. Base it into right field. The Braves are not going to lie down, I can tell you that. And here's Rico Cardi. And the best option they have is probably Hepler or Tug McGraw, both lefties. Probably be Hepler. And all 4 of the next batters are right-handed. So it's going to be Baronarth. And here's Torrey. From the stretch, here's the pitch on a 3-12. Base it into right field. That's an open single. Thomas could try to go to third, but Lewis is a -3. He's not a good runner. He'll hold up. And the Braves put the first 2 runners on in the bottom of the inning. Boy, it's never easy for the 66 Mets, is it? And here comes Rico Cardi. Cardi's 0 for 4, struck out twice. And here's Baronarth now, from the stretch. The pitch to Rico on a 6-5. That's a grounder to shortstop X. That's McMillan. He's a 3-E-20. Here's the play. On a 5, ground ball C. He makes the play, but the runners advance. He can only get the 1. Torrey to third, Cardi to second. Tying run at the plate. Those runners at second and third don't really mean that much. There's 1 out now, and here's Menke. Menke, who's basically put on a clinic on how not to play shortstop today. And he's 0 for 4. Baronarth bears down, no pun intended. 4-5 and strikes out Menke. That's 2. And Woody Woodward do. They might send in a pinch hitter. Bowling could play second with Woodward moving to short. Or Woodward's at second, so Bowling could play second. They've only got 1 decent pinch hitter yet, and as much as I want the Mets to win, like I say, we play both sides. Their only left-handed batter they have left will bat for Woodward, and that's going to be Gary Geiger. Geiger, the fine defensive outfielder, wherever you put him, and a left-handed batter. Baronarth gets his sign. Pitch to Geiger is a 3-4. Grounder to second. That's going to be the ball game. Hunt has it and throws him out. And the Mets did it. No runs, 2 hits. They leave 2. And the New York Mets become the last team in 1966 to get into the win column. How about that? And Mike, we win. I love it. I always think of the newspaper on the beginning of the show, Cheers. And Necro did screw the pooch. Maybe I should have relieved him, but I didn't see, other than bringing in Odell, the left-hander, there didn't really seem much point. There wasn't any better. There's not a right-hander who's any better. You could have brought in a Levo, I suppose. No, Necro just plain blew it. He takes the loss. Baranarth picks up the win. Necro got rocked for 5 hits and 3 runs in his 1 inning of work. Baranarth in his 2 innings gave up 4 hits, no runs, no walks, and struck out 3. So a nice job by Baranarth. I highly doubt if either of these pitchers have any decisions yet. No, Baranarth doesn't, so he's 1-0. And Necro has no decision either. He's 0-1. For the Mets, 5 runs, 13 hits, they made an error. Atlanta, 2 runs on 8 hits, they made 3 errors. Two of them by Menke, I think. Let's see, E6, E7, no, E4. Woodward made 1. Menke gave up a couple of hits on the X chart, but 1 error. And that's it. The Mets are 1-5. Atlanta drops to 4-5. And that's the ball game. The Mets finally get into the win column, 5-2. This is the first of a 4-game series, so it's a long one. Tomorrow's ball game will be the Minnesota Twins at the California Angels. That'll be caught in McLaughlin. So please join me for that one. I want to thank you guys again for hanging out with me on another kind of gloomy, wintry day here in Spokane. Spokane Steve, signing off. And thank you, Mike. There's Joel. Hello, Joel. Join me tomorrow for Twins and Angels. Have a great evening, guys. Thanks again.